Hey there, boot campers, it's Yosti here. You guys must be having a ton of fun because man, time has flown. It's already our third week, or we're into our third week of online programming. So, keep up that fun, or keep having fun, because we want that time to really fly by so we can really get this place back open again, get past this craziness and back into our regular sessions. But until then, we're going to crank on with our online sessions because we've got so much good stuff planned for you guys. Anyway, guys, for today's Monday session, we will need a chair and one of your bags. So remember, double bag your bags. You guys, we've been doing this for 3 weeks now. You guys know what to do. Don't be afraid as we continue forward to add a little bit of extra weight to your bag. Of course, doubling that bag allows you to use that little bit of extra weight, but over time, we do want to progressively overload the body as we go by adding a little bit more resistance from week to week and maybe increasing those reps. We increase those reps with our programming. We kind of tweak things to help you guys out anyway, but to help build your strength as we continue on with our online programming, don't be afraid to I guess you could almost create a journal. That's a really good way to do it, and write down the exercises, the weights that you're using from week to week, and just try to plot it out. So obviously our squat weight is going to be a little bit different from our row weight and our deadlift weight and all that kind of stuff. So with those little micro differences, we can check back in our journal to kind of see, okay, for last week I did 8 reps at this weight for my squats. Then this week, you know what, I'm feeling kind of good. I want to add a little bit of weight to my bag. So don't be afraid to add a little bit of extra weight, maybe put an extra bag of rice in there, maybe an extra book, just to help add that little bit of extra load to help build that strength and develop that strength over time as you go. Anyway, guys, we're going to get into things. So we're going to get into some dynamic mobility up first. To kick things off, we'll get into some Apley's reaches first. So one hand up the spine, one hand down the spine, keeping that tall posture in check as we try to slide those hands together in opposite directions. Don't allow that chin to drop down as we go. Once again, tall thoughts always. Staying tall for a set of 5 per side, 10 total. From our Apley's reaches, we're going to go straight into reaching out to the sides, pivot reaches next. Basically rotating around that central axis so we're not chasing the hand out to the side. Reaching the palm and the shoulder. How far can you take that arm and shoulder out as we pivot from side to side? Working for a set of 10, 5 per side before we move into basically some dipping birds. So hands in the small of the back, push the hips back, keeping the chest up. Minimal knee bend here, so we want to allow that chest to move out past the toes. Don't allow yourself to collapse downwards. Keep pulling your shoulders and arms back. That'll help set that posture and keep you tall for a set of 10. From that position or from that movement, we're going to go into a little bit of balance. So knee up into the chest, kicking back, driving that heel behind. Working set of 5 on one side. As we do this one, remember, nice strong line from that head to hip, and we want to kick the heel to the wall behind us. So we're not swinging the leg through because that can throw us off balance. We want to stay engaged. So heel, kick back, and hinging forwards as opposed to leaning forwards. Once we do our set of 5, swapping it over to the other side, kicking back, driving that heel back like we're trying to touch that wall. Set of 5, keeping the balance as we go. As soon as we finish that last rep, nice wide stance, reaching down. Windmills next, continuing that same nice strong line from head to hip as we push the hips back. Nice and tall as we go. Set of 10, 5 per side before we migrate down to the floor. We're going to go from tall position or standing position down to frog squat, kick back, rock back, step back into frog squat, stand up, then back down to the other side, kick out, rock back, standing up nice and tall in between each one, down into frog, kick back, rock back. If you struggle with the rock back, just drop the knee, remember, rocking back to try to straighten that front leg before you step back through into frog squat. Working a set of 10 total there before we head down into some downward dogs. So kicking out into that high plank position. We push back through the palms. Control it down to the knees, sliding it through, lifting up tall at the front, lifting high, pushing back, driving those hips up, heels down, pushing through the palms. Taking a breath in, breathing out as you come up, lift up tall. 2-second holds at either end. Working for a set of 5. Dropping, controlling it through. From there, guys, we're going to move onto our backs, into some hip bridges next. So tuck the heels in, right into the butt, lift the toes up, palms up, working for a set of 20, driving the hips up towards the sky. See how high you can get those hips. Push the knees away as you lift those hips nice and high. 20 reps will then take us into a set of ab cycles. So roll the chest forwards, push the hands towards the feet, extend it out, alternating from side to side. If you kind of struggle with this one, just go one leg at a time and only reach the leg out as far as you can go, maintaining that forwards chest position. We don't want to be flat on the ground. We don't want to be arching our lower back. Lower back pushed into the ground. We can go one at a time or cycle. We're working for a set of 20. Set of 20, reaching out, ab cycles, rolling forwards, which will then take us into the high plank position once again. Nice wide leg position here. We're going to reach up to touch the shoulders. Good old plank taps. Working for a set of 10, 5 per side, which will then take us into knees to elbow. So bring the feet together, drawing the knee through to same side elbow, left knee to left elbow, right knee to right elbow. Just be mindful when we do this that we're not moving the whole body to do this, and we're not sagging the hips. Cool, so nice and steady. Body doesn't move. Body's like a statue as we bring the knee through. From there, guys, we're going to move into a nice deep squat. Dropping down, wedge the knees open, then lift the hips high. Staying down, wedge, push the knees apart, then lift up nice and high. Don't have to go a million miles an hour here, nice and steady, keeping the heels flat on the ground. For those that struggle with this one, don't go quite so low. Wedge, lift. See how I keep my hips higher? That's okay. Over time, we want to get down into that deep squat position. Wedge and lift. Wedge and lift. Nice and steady as we go. Once we finish our 10 reps there, last ones in this particular series, we're going to reach out with a lunge back, left leg back, left arm up, dropping into a deep lunge, reaching out to the sky. Reach nice and tall. We are going to utilize our bag or one of our bags in our little, I guess I'm breaking up our activation series that's coming up next. Of course, that last one, doing 5 per side, 10 total. Guys, grab a hold of your bag. From here, we're going to do 3 rounds of lateral weight shifts with or without a bag. And of course, lunge rows with our bag. So to get things started, lateral weight shifts, we go nice and wide. We shift our weight to one side, leg nice and straight. Chest stays up. We're moving from side to side for a set of 10, 5 per side. Now, if you can, or if you want a little bit more of a challenge, grab one of your bags, hold it up on the chest, do the same thing, keeping the elbows up. Don't let the bag pull your body forwards. Elbows high as we sink over into the hip from side to side. Cool? Once again, set of 10, or if that's too much trouble, just go body weight. That's fine. Once you finish your 10 lateral weight shifts, bag comes in next to the foot. Nice big long stance. Good old bag rows come next, or lunge rows. Pulling the bag back into the hip. Just working for a set of 5. 5 on one side before we flick over to the other side. Nice and steady. Pulling that bag into the hip, bracing against any rotation that's created there. Cool? So with that series, you'll do your lateral weight shifts, 10, 5 per side. Then our rows, 5 per side. You'll do that for 3 rounds before we move into a little surprise that I've got for you coming up next. Okay folks, here comes that little surprise that I was talking about before. Something a little bit different for our activation as the last part of our activation before we move into our main sets. Of course, being that squatting is part of our strength session today, we're going to do a little bit of squatting next. Now guys, what I would like you to do is go to YouTube. So head over on your phone to YouTube and type in Flower by Moby. Artist Moby, song is called Flower. There's probably a few of you going, oh, already? Those that have done the Flower Challenge, or what it's also known as Bring Sally Up, Bring Sally Down, or the Sally Challenge. We're going to do a little bit of a Sally Challenge next as part of your warm-up. Now, guys, I'm going to do this one as per in real time, just so, you know, I'm not just making you guys do it. I'm going to do this one as well. So if you can't find it, we're going to crank up the sound and you can kind of listen along and follow along. If you can't quite hear the music, I mean, half the fun of this is getting into that music as you're squatting. But just follow along, just watch me on the screen because I'm going to be doing the whole workout here. So guys, this goes for about 3 minutes 20. It's a good amount of squats. Man, you guys are going to be warmed up, so let's get into it. So I'm going to get Declan to cue up the song. This starts pretty much bang on, so grab your bag if you want the extra challenge. You can just go body weight with this particular challenge. Try to survive it. For our beginners, if you find this a little bit of a struggle, just stand up, just relax, because every time you hear Bring Sally Down, you go down and hold the bottom of the squat. As soon as you hear Bring Sally Up, you've got to stand back up again. So you're listening for the cue of Bring Sally Up, Bring Sally Down as you go. And that means, obviously, down is down here in the bottom of the squat, up tall is the top. You end up spending more time in the down position though. So this one's like our pause squats that we have been doing. So this is very reminiscent to that, and it's a great amount of volume. It's a good amount of volume as well. So beginners, guys, if you find you start to struggle, just sit out a couple of Bring Sally Up, Bring Sally Down downs, just shake it out a little bit and then try and reconvene and try to get as much of these reps out as possible. Cool? So guys, let's grab our bag first. We're holding it on the chest for those that are gonna work the bag challenge. And then Declan, let's cue up the music and get things cranking. Oh, Bring Sally Down. It starts that quickly. So we're listening to that. Up, down. Listening for those cues as we go. Up, down. Holding the bottom position, staying nice and tall as we go. Up, down. You'll start to get in a little bit of a rhythm. Up, down. Staying nice and strong, guys. Early days. Up, down. Try to breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Up, down. Bring Sally up, down. That's the way, guys. Stay strong. This is the pause. This bit sucks. Got to hold the bottom until you hear that up part again. Up, down. Here we go. Elbows, try to keep them up. Up, down. Staying nice and tall as we move. Up, down. The burn should be sinking in around about now. Up, down. Staying strong, guys, early days. Up, down. Nice, now the pause. Da, 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 da. Now we're just like, damn, just say Sally again, come on. Up, down. Nice work, guys, stay with it. Stay with me. Up, down, nice work. That's it, staying focused. Down, remember to breathe. Down. It's the way, folks, stay on it. Up, down. Here comes the pause again. Bum, bum, bum. Just hanging out in the bottom of the squat. Up, down. Working it. Down. That's the way, guys. Stay on it. Let's go. Bring Sally up. Down. Da, da, da. Bring Sally up. Bring Sally down. Ooh. Up. Down. Come on, guys. Not too long left. Let's work it. Up. Down. Staying on it. Let's go. Up, down, keep those elbows up. Bring Sally up, bring Sally down. Elbows nice and high. Up, down, staying strong. Staying upright, folks. Up, down. Staying on it. Up, down. Oh, I'm sweating now. Up, down, come on guys, push. Holding till the end of the song. Keep it down, don't stand up. Hold. Done, well done guys. Woo! Whoa, grab yourself a drink, a little bit of a breather before we go into our first round of strength. Up next is our strength set, folks. We should be all nice and warm. Of course, I hope we have some legs left. The good old flower challenge, Moby flower, is always a good one. Definitely gets the heart rate up and gets the body nice and warm. But as I mentioned in that set, great way to get a little bit of squat volume. So I'm going to give us a few different options here, just depending on how we're feeling after that set. So for some of our beginners, that can be pretty much a main set. Nothing wrong, even though we're calling it part of the warm-up. Don't feel like, oh man, I kind of failed because that was all. That's still a working set at the end of the day. We're still getting some great work done there. So if you did struggle with that, it's okay, it's all good. It's all part of the growing process. Pushing a little bit here, pulling back a little bit there. They're all good things. It's all about moving forwards and developing for you as opposed to, someone else. When we're working in our group class environments, it's very easy to look at what other people are doing and going, oh, I'm not quite as fit as that. Doesn't matter what other people are doing. It's about what you're doing and where you're at. We want to develop that because what you're doing is what it's all about. It's about getting you to the next level as opposed to getting the other people. We're getting everyone else to the next level, but we're also getting you to the next level too. So never feel bummed if things are a struggle or a challenge as you go, because it's all a part of, we want to push you a little bit and then we want to bring things back. Sometimes the sessions are easy, sometimes they're a bit tougher. Anyway, guys, I could go on about that and I'll probably create a whole separate video in terms of quality over quantity, working different modalities, progressive overload, and all those kinds of details. But next up, we've got 3 exercises that we're doing for 4 rounds. Guys, in our first exercise, I have got a little bit of a combo here. However, I'm going to change this up for folks, depending on how you feel. So our number 1, level 3 combo. This is the top of the pops. So we're all nice and warm. We're going to be doing a squat, 2 lunge and lunge combo. So we're doing 8 of those. Cool? So if you're kind of feeling it, just go body weight. If you want to add a little bit of load to this, grab your bag, place it high on the chest, and we're squatting down, keeping the elbows up, then dropping the lunge, keeping that shin nice and vertical at the front, then dropping the lunge, keeping that other shin nice and vertical. That's 1. So then 2 would be drop and drop, controlling the lunge. Just remember, folks, that when we're stepping back, we want to make sure we got that 90-90, that we're not pushing that knee forwards and the heel's not coming up off the ground at the front. Cool? Guys, if you're really feeling those legs after that last effort, just make it lunges. Cool? So you'll do 8 lunges, 4 per side. We're alternating the lunges. Stepping back, body weight is all good. That's our level 2. Intermediate level, just work lunges. Cool? For our beginners, just work lunges without the bag. I just want body weight. Cool? So levels wise, level 1 is our lunges, body weight. Level 2 is weighted lunges. Level 3 is squats and lunges. That's how our level system works for today, all depending on how you feel after our Moby challenge. So once again, just to highlight those key points, especially for our beginners, when we're stepping back into the lunge, try to keep that front shin nice and vertical. If it helps, we are using the chair in this set. Stand so that the knees or the shins are almost touching the front of that chair. Then I'm stepping back. If that knee or that shin touches that chair, it means we haven't quite got the distance in our stance. It means that that leg is, see how that, as soon as I move that knee forwards, it shoved the chair forwards because it moved that front leg. So once again, we want to get almost so it touches. Then we step back, drop the lunge. See how I can basically step back and my shins and knees will never touch the chair because I'm stepping back with the right distance. So if you need that reminder, use the chair. It helps you out. Cool. Second exercise, guys, is plank rows. So what we're doing is we're pulling our bag right next to the chair. We then set ourselves up in the high plank position on the chair. So I want a nice strong line from head to heel, basically so that my hands are directly underneath my shoulders. Then, putting my body weight into that front hand, I then pull the bag into the hip pocket, bracing nice and tight so I'm not twisting and bending as I pull that bag in. So working a set of 8 reps, holding tight, 8 on one side before I change it over to the other side, pulling it into the hip. Now, if you find that a bit of a struggle, or if you're one of our beginners, what I want you to do is bend at the knees, bend at the hips, stick your bum out, and just balance onto the chair in this posture. This is a supported row. So the difference between the supported row is there's less body weight being exerted on that front hand, and we're taking the core component, or we're minimizing the core component out. So bend at the hips, bend at the knees. The back should almost be parallel with the floor. Same thing, drawing that bag in towards the hip pocket, in towards the belly button. You'll work 8 on one side, 8 on the other for our supported row. Last of all, folks, is some chair dips. So place your bag over to the side. We're going to take a seat on the edge of our chair. We're then going to place the palms on the chair next to our butt. Move the legs forward slightly, and with bent knees, we're going to keep the chest up, lowering ourselves down, nice and tall. So we want a 90-degree bend at the elbow. Bring ourselves up. We're working for 8 reps. We can kick the legs out straight to make it harder. That way there's more body weight being exerted into my triceps, shoulders, and lower chest as I go. So if I want to increase that difficulty, just straighten the legs out. Try to keep basically your torso as vertical as you can. You don't want your bum sliding forwards and leaning backwards. Cool? You want to basically just sliding, like you're sliding your back up and down a wall as you go. Legs nice and straight is harder. Keeping the back nice and close to the chair, or bend the knees for our beginners. That's going to make it a little bit easier for 8 reps. Cool? So once again, guys, we've got our combo squat to reverse lunge for a set of 8, which can be scaled to lunges for a set of 8 with the bag, and of course body weight for our beginners lunges. We've got our plank rows for 8 per side, or our supported rows, 8 per side, and last of all, chair dips for a set of 8. Guys, do 4 rounds. Then we'll move on to our conditioning set. Last up is a little conditioning AMRAP that's a little bit more core focused in its exercises. We've got basically 4 exercises that we're going to be working with, and this one is a ladder set. Guys, beginners will be going for 8 minutes and our regular members will be going for 10 minutes with this particular set. Everything starts at 5. Beginners, you guys will be doing 5s. Regardless, everything will be 5s. You'll just be doing 8 minutes of those 5s. For everyone else, we'll be doing a ladder set. So those 5s will then go to 6s, 7s, and so forth. Now, there's a couple of exercises in here that will be per side. So just double it. Whatever the first exercise is, double the reps will be what your number total is for those other exercises. That'll make a lot more sense in a sweet second. Anyway, guys, what we've got is bag grounder overheads. We've got mountain climbers, ab cycles, and bag drags in our little 4 exercise set here. So going over those key exercises, first one is a ground overhead. So with our bags, make sure everything is done up nice and secure, because we're basically taking the bag from the ground onto the chest, pressing it out overhead. We'll be going for 5 reps. So when we're setting this up, make sure that we're standing right over the top of the bag, reaching down, lock those shoulders in, arms nice and straight. We bring that bag up onto the chest and then we press it out overhead. Back into the chest, back into this position before we lower it down with control. Then up onto the chest, press back down, staying nice and tall. Really trying to make sure that we're keeping that posture in check as we do 5 reps. Taking the bag from the ground to the chest, pressing it overhead, then controlling it back down to the ground again. 5 reps. From there, we're going to go into mountain climbers. So setting yourself up in that high plank position. Arms or hands just underneath the shoulders. From there, guys, knee, then change. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's 5 per side. Cool? As I mentioned before, just double the amount of bag ground overheads will give you that total of mountain climbers. Guys, minimize how much we're bouncing up and down. Lock the body in nice and tight. Driving that knee towards the chest. Cycling those legs as we go. We're working for, once again, that 5 per side on the first round. Beginners, I want you doing knees to elbow. Cool? So take out the intensity, nice and steady. Drawing the knee towards the elbow as we go. 5 per side, that'll always stay the same. Sweet. Third exercise, we're working ab cycles. So lying down on the back like we did in the warm-up, pushing the small of the back into the ground. We want to roll the chest forwards like we're trying to touch our ankles. Keep that position, cycle the legs. 5 per side, 10 total. To make this a little bit easier, just don't reach the leg out as far. Cool? And work one at a time. So for our beginners, leg out, hold, don't reach it out. But for our regular members, extend all the way. Try and almost touch the heel to the ground. Simultaneously moving those legs together. Whereas our beginners, reach, set as we go. 5 per side for our beginners, and regular members, 5 per side that goes up by 1, just double it, and that's the amount of ab cycles. Last of all, bag drags. So we're setting back up in that high plank position. So grab your bag, you want it on one side of the body. We set ourselves up, high plank position. Then we're dragging that bag through to the other side. Make sure the bag goes through to clear the whole body. Reach, holding steady, drag it through. So I'm not reaching, twisting, dropping. I should have this strong line all the way through from my feet to the top of my head. I should be able to draw a nice straight line through. For our beginners, work on your knees with this one. So we set ourselves up on all 4s. Keeping that chest up, we pull the bag through to the other side. Pull through to the other side. Holding steady, working 5 per side. Cool? With our good old bag drags. So beginners work from your knees. Everybody else, we work in that high plank position. Cool? So, ground overheads, first round, 5 total, plus 1 each round that you do. The next round will go 6, then 7, then 8. When you get to mountain climbers, just double that number, and that's how many mountain climbers you do. Same for our ab cycles, same for our bag drags. Just double whatever the bag ground overhead is. That just makes it easy, unless you want to just remember it's plus 1 per side for the other exercises. Beginners, you'll always do 5. You'll do 8 minutes of that. For our regular members, we're doing 10 minutes of this particular set. Good luck with that one, folks, and let us know how you go with it. Last up, as a little bit of a cool down, we're going to have a bit of a stretch. So, staying nice and tall, we're going to push down on the elbow. Keep that posture in check as we try to push the hand down the spine by pushing on the elbow. Just be mindful, we don't want to arch the back too much. We want to keep the chest down and keep that chin up as well as we push down on that elbow. Just working for a set of 30 seconds, staying tall, then change it over, other side, pushing down on that elbow, staying tall. Give that bum a bit of a squeeze, that'll help set and neutralize the pelvis to keep us tall. 30 seconds per side, then we're going to interlock the fingers at the back. So just interlock those fingers, and then we want to push the elbows straight and then try to lift those arms as high as we can. Also staying as tall as we can in that position, trying to lift those arms up as high as we can go, continually pushing them away from the body. We want to hold that for about 30 seconds. Then we're going to take it down to the ground. So let's take a seat, pulling those heels right in, close to the hips. We then, holding onto the feet, we push down on the insides of those thighs. Pushing down, we're sitting nice and tall for 30 seconds. Once we finish 30 seconds, we're pulling our body down, chest down towards the feet, at the same time pushing down on the insides of our thighs as well to get a little bit more stretch out. Trying to stretch out those adductors, the insides of the thighs. Leaning in, 30 seconds before we kick it out, nice and wide. Tucking in one foot, keeping this leg on the ground as well as that butt cheek at the back. We're going to lean forwards, trying to get that chest down towards the knee. If we can, pull those toes back. Keep that forwards pressure on. Nice big breathing as we breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Working 30 seconds before we change it over to the other side, kicking around, leaning out. Once again, keep that leg flat on the ground, that back butt cheek on the ground as well. Leaning in, if we can grab those toes, pull them back, keeping that chest forwards as we go. Nice big breathing. Sounds like they're having a bit of fun outside with the motorbike. Must be the guys tuning up one of the bikes. Once we finish our 30 seconds there, guys, we're going to move into downward dog. So, moving into the top of our push-up position. We want to push back through the palms, dropping the chest down. Heels go down. Might shuffle forwards a touch. There we go. So lifting up nice and tall. Take a breath in. Lower to the knees, breathe out as we slide it through and lift up tall at the front. Don't let those elbows bend. Try to lift up as high as you can. Nice big breathing. Try and relax as much as possible. Then take a big breath in, lowering down, pushing back. Push those hips up high, flattening the chest down. See how low you can get those heels to the ground. Continue to breathe nice and deeply. Then lowering to the ground. Breathe in, breathing out as you come up. Sinking into that stretch. Staying nice and high. Try to create that space between the shoulders and the ears as we lift up nice and tall. Then guys, making your way up to your feet. Give yourself a little round of applause, a little pat on the back. Great little Monday in the books. well done. Of course, we've got our strength session coming up on our Wednesday as well, and then our good old boot camp coming up for the weekend. So many sessions going all over the place. It's just awesome. I can't believe that it's our third week already. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Till next time, stay safe and out of the madness, and enjoy this time that we're having indoors. Anyway, guys, see you later.